So today, we're going to deconstruct a really fascinating poem by Nissim Ezekiel called Shillong. Now, on the surface, it's all about this super peaceful place, but it asks a question that honestly feels more relevant today than ever before.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Imagine a place with zero stress, no deadlines, no noise, no notifications, just absolute perfect calm. Sounds pretty amazing, right?
But here's the curveball Ezekiel throws at us. If you actually found that perfect place, would it really be enough for you? Let's dive into how the poem tackles this exact problem.
Okay, so the poem kicks off by painting this, absolutely idyllic picture. Ezekiel sets the scene for us in Shillong, which is a hill station in India, and the mood he creates is just one of complete and total serenity. He starts us off with his really simple but super powerful images. The air isn't moving. The hills are quiet. This isn't just quiet, It's this deep, profound stillness that you can almost feel coming through the words on the page. And right here, Ezekiel does something pretty brilliant with personification. The mountains have an arm. Now, on the one hand, that sounds really protective, right? Like a warm, comforting hug. But couldn't an arm also hold you down? Keep you in one place? It kind of suggests a feeling of confinement. He's already planting these little seeds of doubt. He just keeps building this atmosphere, describing it not just as peaceful, but as something almost magical, especially in how it lacks all that modern-day anxiety we're so used to.
And notice how he defines this place. He keeps telling us what's not there. He's using negation, no hurried step, no anxious face. It's a direct shot, a clear contrast to the hectic, stressful city life that he and his readers would have known so well.
And there it is, that word, spell. Such a cool choice. It makes the piece of Shillong sound enchanting, magical even. But what is a spell, really? It's kind of an illusion, right? Something that might not be totally real, or something that could be broken? This is our first major clue that maybe this perfect piece isn't all it's cracked up to be.
So the whole first half of the poem builds up this incredible fantasy. The ultimate escape, a sanctuary where all the pressures of the modern world just disappear. It's the exact thing we all daydream about when we're completely overwhelmed. But then, everything changes.
This is the moment where the poem just completely flips on its head. We go from looking at the peaceful world outside to exploring the complicated, messy world inside the human mind. This line right here is the hinge for the entire poem. It's all about that one little word, yet. After all that beautiful description of perfect calm, this word just blows the doors wide open to doubt and deep thought. It turns out, when the world outside finally gets quiet, the world inside your head can get incredibly loud. This is actually a classic tool poets use. A pivot word, like yet or but, is basically a giant signpost for the reader that says, hey, pay attention, we're changing direction here. From this point on, the poem isn't really about Shillong anymore. It's about the nature of the human mind itself. And what is this new direction? Well, it's skepticism, pure and simple. The poet starts to question and even critique the very piece he just spent all that time describing so beautifully. First, he calls this piece a dream, which immediately makes it sound kind of fake, disconnected from the real world. And then he criticizes it for being too soft, too still. That repetition of the word too is everything. It suggests an excess, an overabundance. This isn't just peace, it's an overdose of peace. And that might actually lead to weakness or even stagnation. And this right here just lays out the core conflict of the poem perfectly. On the one hand, you have the promise of peace, but for every one of those promises, there's a potential problem lurking. Tranquility? That can easily become stagnation. That feeling of safety from the mountain's arm? Well, that can turn into the confinement of isolation. And that amazing relief from stress? That can just curdle into a total lack of growth and a kind of intellectual boredom. So, if perfect, absolute peace isn't the answer, then what is? The poem's final lines give us this really powerful conclusion about what the human mind actually needs to feel satisfied. And this is what it all boils down to. The mind doesn't just need to rest, it actually craves things. It craves challenge, to have something to overcome. It needs movement to feel alive. It needs diversity of experience, not just the same thing day in and day out. And it needs engagement with the world. The perfect, unchanging stillness of Shillong, it offers none of that. When you get right down to it, this is a very modern idea. It reflects the mind of someone who comes from a complex, urban world and finds too much simplicity, too much quiet, to be kind of unsettling. The poem is arguing that you can't just change your surroundings and expect to find happiness. Real, true satisfaction has to come from within, and it takes a lot more than just quiet to find it.
And that leaves us with this huge question to think about. In our world today, with the endless scrolling and constant dings from our phones, is this restlessness we all feel just a modern flaw we need to fix? Or was Ezekiel onto something? Is this deep-seated need for stimulation, for engagement, a fundamental, inescapable part of what makes us human? The poem asks the question, but it's really up to us to find the answer.